Hey everybody, this is Alessandro. Welcome back to my channel. Last time I did a tutorial about dynamic poses between two characters, how to construct, how to sketch first and plan the idea and everything until the final 3D poses, right? And today I want to do a follow-up and talk about staging. So first of all, let me clarify what is staging. Stage is how you compose your composition, your stage, your poses, your framing from a camera angle perspective, okay? And I think this is very important. It's going to be the next step, what your guys are going to do. Once your body mechanics are solid and everything, you want to start to have some interesting camera angle. And I want to show you, share with you a few tips, on how to do that kind of successfully, all right, guys? So first of all, we need to have in mind what kind of composition and action we are looking for, right? So in this specific case, I'm gonna draw, very quickly from a side view, the intention of my action, right? And I want to have a character over here, right? Kind of holding a sword or something, right? Like here. Again, it's gonna be very simple for now, right? Just to have the idea of what I'm looking for, right? So it's kind of having the arms, this action, and maybe on the other side over here, there is another character here kind of parrying this attack, right? And kind of maybe crossing the sword this direction, all right? It's parrying a little bit more on the sides. I want to make it more stylish. And just to be clear, guys, this when I make those poses and stuff like that are not necessarily realistic in terms of martial art, okay? I'm just looking for something that looks fun, dynamic. I'm not too concerned about if this realistic parry or anything, right? That's not what I'm looking for. I just want to make sure it kind of parry like here. Maybe the head is kind of here, and the parry maybe will happen actually here. Maybe the sword is gonna be up here, and he's gonna protect himself this way, right? So this is the kind of idea that I have in mind, right? And so first of all, once I have this in mind, I'll think about, okay, more or less, where do I want to put the camera? I want to put it down here and shooting from here. I want to put it frontal like this, behind this character, right? For this specific tutorial, I want to have the camera more or less around here, right? And so I want to really I want to have this character closer, all right? And this character a little bit further away. So now that I have this in mind, I'm gonna start to sketch directly. Imagine this is the camera view, guys, and try to imagine how I wanna do these things, right? And so we know, the classic third rule where we split the character, the screen in three parts, right? And so for me, it means that I want this character over here, kind of big here, depending how big will be. Maybe I want to be here. And as I said, I want to have, this character kind of, parry a little bit, okay? So the shoulder will be kind of here. His line of action is gonna his head is gonna facing this way, right? And maybe the hands is gonna be more or less somewhere here. But overall, what I want this word parry this way, right? And so, boom, right? So maybe the hands is gonna be around here. This is the things and everything, right? And again, at this point, I'm not too much concerned of making pretty drawing or anything. Just I want to have the overall idea of how I want to compose this scene. And, most of all, I think what is important at this stage is placing the right element correctly. So you see, like, for example, I want these eyes very visible because for me, when I stage those things, it's very important to have the eyes clearly visible. And it's not a random choice that I'm putting the sword here, kind of covering the other eyes. Okay, I'll see if I can do it in 3D, but when I plan in 2D, I want to have it kind of like here, right? I think it looks kind of cool, make the character a little bit more mysterious and everything, right? And so I want this more or less over here, right? And then the other guys will be over here. And so before moving and draw the other guys, I want to make sure what is the line of action of the sword going on the other side. So I think it's going to be more or less something like this, right? Boom. Maybe a bit more of perspective, right? Boom. And again, then I need to see what I can do in 3D, right? But maybe I'll think about, okay, maybe the hand is going to be over here. And the in perspective is gonna go this direction, right? And then the other guy is down here, right? Right. So as you can see, I'm not too much worried about the to make pretty drawing at this stage or anything like that, right? Uh, and so maybe the line of action here is going to be this direction, maybe it's pushing this way, right? And so when I do this one, very quickly, I can cancel here, all right? Cancel those line over here, just have a little bit cleaner to see. Actually, it's the opposite. I've done the opposite. So this sword needs to be okay, right? And this is the other sword, more or less, right? I think you're getting the sense of it, right? And so yes, this one is on the outside, okay, and this one on the inside, right? More or less, this is the idea, all right, guys. And as you can see, I was trying to keep, maybe I will adjust a bit more in 3D, but I want to keep clear frame over here for on the right side of this guy, especially when I do those things. I really want to make sure that the face is staged properly, right? And then here I want to have the strike, and I want to have the sword covering part of his face, right? And so the other sword can parry, but at least I want to make sure I keep one eye visible like this, because that means for me, eyes, hands, and stuff like that are really telling you a lot how the character feel. It feels like it's determined, it's scared. Even with just one eyes, you can say a lot about the dynamic of a sequence. And that's why those things are really important, for me. And it's helped me to set the mood. And obviously, when you do stuff like that, you want to make sure you hold those kind of poses for a while, so it's kind of readable, right? So it depends also on how you're planning to do your animation and everything. But today we are focusing just on a still image, right? Okay, now that I've done the sketch, on Photoshop and everything, so what I'm gonna do very quickly, all right, I'm gonna start to pose those characters. I'm not gonna create a camera immediately, all right? And what I'm gonna do, start to work on this. This one, maybe we can put it on 0, right? And I'm gonna do a first pass over here in perspective, all right? Just to see what is going on. I just want to pause them very quickly, right? Right, we want to make sure the line of action is nice and clean. We want to move this one over here, right? And push it as high as possible. Okay. I will adjust the hand position later, right? This one maybe a little bit lower. I'm gonna push it a little bit more like this. Want to make it a bit more dynamic, all right? And this other character, all right, let's move in closer. Again, I want to make him, he's kind of standing like this. Boom. The reason why I'm saying, it's I want to see later, I want to do first in perspective, a quick first pass, more or less, right? And then seeing later is because, some part of the body might not even be visible in your shot. And so maybe you don't need a lot to do it right, okay? So you want to make sure, you don't waste time on things that are not always necessary. Okay. Maybe you want to kind of bend this a little bit more like this, right? Okay, let me adjust this one again. First of all, compress it. All right, maybe something like this. Okay, maybe this we want to bend it down a little bit. Okay, and maybe this one we want to make it higher, you know. Okay, so now that this is done, all right, of course you can see the character is slightly unbalanced, but again, we can adjust those things later, all right. So now what I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna save, but I'm gonna create a camera, right? Go here, create a camera, scale it, make it bigger, right? As much as you want, guys. And I'm gonna go in here and go in camera view, and I'll try to move those things into the direction that I want, right? So I said that, as you can see, guys, I said I wanted something similar, like I wanted to have this guy over here, right? And I wanted, I wanted to see a bit of the face of this character and everything, right? And so, so yes, I will place it in a similar way, but I want maybe a bit more of a perspective, all right? So maybe I want to have this character a little bit closer and this a little bit further away. It depends, it's every case is kind of different. So I can try to play with the lens a little bit, right? I can making the lens a little bit shorter, smaller, right? And so you see now there is a bigger contrast between the size of this character and this one looks very very small, right? Okay, so it's at the end of the day it's up to you. Maybe I want to have a little bit more of a down shot. Down shot refers to the fact that is um, you know it's kind of looking down. Okay, the camera is slightly looking down, that's why it's called a down shot. Okay, I want to see a little bit of this. Maybe I want to see a little bit of this, a bit of tilt, to make it a bit more interesting, right? And so, again, I'm gonna, sometimes go back and forth to what we did, right? And so, again, now what I'm doing, okay, let's assume I'm happy with this camera, right? So what I'm gonna do is to lock everything. Okay, by locking everything, guys, you want to make sure in this view now you cannot move anything anymore. And just for the sake of this tutorial, because I want to do things a little bit quickly, right? I am going to use this controller just to compose those characters a little bit better, right? And so what I want here is I want to really work on the line of action, okay, as usual. And so I want to work on this. As I said, guys, it was really important for me the head, right? Remember what I said? Hey, I really want to see only one eyes and everything, right? And so I want to make sure maybe this eyes is gonna visible, right? And maybe I want to have this kind of line of action like this. Okay, I want to see this, and then maybe this is I can put it on. Okay. Maybe here this shoulder really want to have it push it forward like this, right? Maybe I want to even adjust the overall torso. So I want to just express a little bit, and it takes time doing those things, guys. It's not that you can do it very easily. I take as much time as I need to do something like that, right? For me, again, when I want to do those kind of stuff, it's only about composition, right? And so if it takes me like an hour to get the right composition, I don't care. I'm gonna spend like a full hour just by doing that, all right? Okay. Okay, maybe here a little bit. Yeah, see, I want to tilt it a bit more. All right. And then I want to adjust this. Yeah, also here, I wanna sometimes what I like to do is, no, okay, let's assume, okay, I'm okay with the line of action of the body, right? Then it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna redo this uh, to make it even more interesting. You know, I wanna maybe, maybe tilt it a little bit like this. Sometimes I just like to experiment, maybe I wanna like this, a little bit the neck in this direction. Okay, maybe a bit, I did a bit too much. Okay, and obviously I will adjust the finger and everything at some point, right? And obviously what I'm gonna do, I wanna open this arm over here, right? And I give the sense that it's moving that direction, right? Okay, closing here, right? Wanna adjust some of this finger pose, okay? And adjust also the thumb, okay? Okay, I'll continue to adjust a little bit more. Now that more or less I say, okay, you know what, I kinda have it here. I have this overall things going this direction. Maybe it could be a little bit more here. You can test it. You can always test hey, you know what, it feels more dynamic like this, right? Again, sometimes I use this controller very quickly just to test things out and to make them more dynamic. All right. Again, doesn't mean in animation when I actually animate I use this controller. I'm just doing it right now because it's faster. I don't wanna drag this tutorial a bit too long. All right. And obviously, even in 3D, sometimes I spend more time to do this pose more appropriate, even in perspective. Um, right now, again, for today, I really just want to focus on what I have on camera. All right. And so now that this is done, I'm gonna start to work on this other character, right? And maybe I want to have it slightly like this, okay? And maybe rotate it a little bit more this direction, right? And so what I want to do first is to really work on the line of action here, right? I want to make sure what is the point where this word is gonna hit, right? So I want to find that specific spot. All right. So okay, I want this word to hit here, right? Boom. I want us to hit here over the mouth, over the eyes, up here. Where do you want, right? So I think it's aiming for the head. So it's kind of okay to do it like this, right? And but now it means I have to suddenly, shift everything, right? Also, I want to maybe adjust this one. First, we can adjust it later. First, I want to focus on this, and then I feel like, hey, you know what? I'm going way too much off screen here. And so at some point, I feel like, you know what? Let me see how was it before. Okay, before it was like here. Obviously, it's not really correct. So let me try if I just push this a bit more. okay, and push it a bit more on the side. And see, now it feels already a little bit better, but I think now there is too much gap between these two. So I need to go back here and unlock, all right, so I can go back and move it again and maybe rotate it a little bit more this direction. So he has a little bit more space and we can push things a bit closer, all right. All right, make it more dynamic. Okay, and I'm gonna lock it here again one more time, and then I'm gonna go back, right? I'm gonna go back here. I think I can push it now this direction, okay, make it a little bit more interesting. I wanna raise the shoulder, obviously, right? I wanna adjust this, okay, make sure the line of action, everything, it is where it's supposed to be. This one we can adjust it to the foot, so it's kind of following it, right? And same things over here, right? Oh, I took the wrong controller. Same foot here. Okay, I can adjust here. Okay, this one we can maybe push it this direction. Okay, the hip, gonna rotate it a bit more, right? This one for now, I just wanna move it in a free flow, all right? Now here, I'm gonna, this stage I wanna very quickly reset everything, right? And I wanna go and make sure it's, so I say I wanna see if I wanna do this, right? Fully like this, which I don't like it, or maybe keep it like this and I want this shoulder to be higher, first of all, and slowly we can start to look at the facial, right? And start to look on this other guy, right? Okay, so we started to give the right direction here. Maybe here we can push it even higher, but maybe no, that doesn't feel it. Start to look a bit broken. Right? And so again here we can maybe lower the shoulder. Okay. And again, maybe another things I want to do is to improve this line of action. I want to make it really more dynamic. Okay. I feel like he's coming forwards with his whole body. Okay. And maybe like this, what we can do, we can also get closer with this. We can push him a bit closer. Always mindful about this. Right? And obviously, because we are overstretching him right now, push him this more forward. Okay, be mindful about the line of action. It's always a bit tricky because, guys, it's, you know, you wanna make sure you find the right balance, right? You need to be a bit mindful about this. Sometimes I have the feeling, oh damn it, I push the shoulder a bit too much. And so coming down here, right? What I'm gonna do is readjust this one. Maybe we push it a bit too hard. Sometimes that's the thing, you know, we wanna always adjust line of action, stuff like that, right? But you want to be careful. See, now it started to feel a bit more organic, right? Right. And now we push this one over here. We want to keep it on the side, maybe, right? Or maybe I want to keep it like this. I don't know at the moment. Maybe I'll just keep it open for the sake of keeping it clean, right? Okay, this one again, we need to adjust it because, we want to have, okay, like this, and maybe this one, push it forward like this. All right. And again, we adjust this one a little bit more. We want to make sure it's getting closer. You see, guys, what I'm trying to do? I'm really trying to frame the eye over here, right? Maybe what I'm doing that I'm testing. Hey, maybe maybe I can see a little bit more of the mouth and everything, right? And little by little, I'm adjusting everything, especially when there are two things interconnected. See, I wanna make sure it doesn't intersect his hair and everything, right? Okay. And same things for the facial here. I'm gonna make sure it feels like it's kind of looking at the. Oh, did I took the wrong controller? You want to make sure it's kind of looking over there. Okay. And here, let's see if I have any gimbal controller. Yes, so maybe what I can do is take this one, this controller, and adjusting it a little bit. And, I want to make sure maybe I adjust this one. And then I will adjust the position of the finger, all right? Because again, I wanna keep a nice line of action from the spine. I don't know if I can really cheat and maybe for this kind of composition it's a bit too extreme, but I wanted to do more something like this, right? You see, like the really pushing it. So I wanna achieve this one. Having kind of straight line from the sword, it feels a lot more dynamic, but it might be a bit problematic. So what I'm gonna do, I'll see if I can adjust the camera first. Okay, and I wanna fill this a bit more. And obviously, when I cheat, right? For example, here, if I'm cheating, I want to make sure it's not too obvious that I'm going down to the ground, right? And so if this is started to feel a bit better. Actually, in this case, I'll have to, for a moment, revert this one. We can adjust this later. See, guys, there is a lot of back and forth, really. Okay, going here. See, I want to have the shoulder going down like here, right? I really want to push, make it really dynamic. And again, see what's going on with this word. All right. Maybe I want to continue to push this a bit higher. Feel the intensity of the all right, guys, so at the end, as you can see, I kind of refined a little bit the overall composition of the image. I did some, facial expression, especially here. I wanted to have visible the mouth as well. Make sure the direction is very clean, right? I add some color, some shadow just for the sake of composition. And the last things I wanted to show you guys that sometimes I do, when I work on a stage like this, right? Yes, of course, I try to follow as much as possible whatever we do here, with the limit, because at the end this is just a 2D image. When you do it in 3D, it's quite different. But what I like to do sometimes is take the camera and try to explore few different things, right? For example, here, as you can see, I went a little bit closer, right? I just want to have a contrast from the shape of this guy to this one. I tilted the camera a little bit more, and as you can see, his arms is a little bit higher, right? And again, you see how we are talking about how I frame the eyes in this part over here of the screen. Again, it's not an accident. It's done it on purpose. And then if you feel like, this is kind of a tangent, I can always go back here and maybe raise it up a little bit, up to you, these kind of details, obviously. And then I've done another one where, hey, what about if I go on a super close-up where we see only the eyes here and we see this one? This is another option. Personally, I prefer this one more. I think this one is a bit too extreme. And then I did another one a little bit more where I tilted the camera there, bring these two characters a little bit closer. Not much, a lot of a difference, as you can see. At the end, this number 2 is my favorite, I would say. But it depends up to you, right? Depends entirely up to you. And at the end of the day, I think it's good that you try all these experiments. Once you're getting closer, you're 80% done. Just take the camera and start to move the character around, just to see what is the best result that you can get. All right, guys. And as you can see, this is something it's very important to me. When I say at the end of it, it's you need to take as long as it takes to do one single pose, one single framing that looks good as possible. And that really has a lot of power in terms of storytelling, right? As you can see, guys, I could even show you like as just one frame like this without showing the rest of the animation, the rest of the fight, and you can see that just this frame, just this composition is telling you a lot from a dynamic perspective, a storytelling perspective. Who's the character who's in more dominant, more in charge, who's the one struggling a bit more in this fight sequence, right? And so that's the kind of effort you want to put, especially if you're doing like a sequence, not just an animation, when it comes to storytelling, because those things are definitely very, very powerful. But obviously, guys, this is something more advanced. This is something you do when you have a really great body mechanics and stuff like that. Okay. I hope you enjoyed these kind of things, and if you have any comment, question, let me know. See you next time. Ciao, guys.